To do problems that have a series of additions and subtractions, which is what we're looking at right here, you have two options. Option one is just to press exactly what you see into the calculator. Exactly, don't add anything, just type in exactly what you see. The second way of doing this is changing all your subtractions to additions. So if I change my subtractions to additions and the opposite number to change its sign, I would make the adjustment that would look like this. And now this problem becomes much easier when it's all additions. So if I were to do 7 plus 5, which is 12, and then I add a negative 11, I get 1, plus 6, which is 7, and 7 plus a negative 19 gives me a negative 12. And that would be my answer if I wanted to do it by hand, which you might want to need to know how to do that. Subtraction and algebraic expressions, it's the same way. We want to change all our algebraic expressions as they show right here. So every subtraction gets changed to an addition. So I have a negative 4y and I have a negative 5. And now I can combine my like terms if needed. So what we can use this for is to identify the terms. To identify the terms, we need to know that we have plus signs between them. So if I change my one subtraction sign to a plus, I can identify as negative 6 is one term, 4a is another term, and a negative 7ab is my third term. So you must change to addition to identify your algebraic terms. One thing I want to point out here is that we're going to deal a lot with money. So the best way to think of subtractions, as well as additions really, is by gains and loss of money. So this example, they talked about what if x was dollars, and if we had $3, or we gained $3, but then lost $8, what would we have left over? Well, we actually have a negative 5 amount of dollars. So we have a loss because it's a negative. Same with if we start with a loss of $9, but then we add $12 to that, $12, we would end up with a gain or a positive number. So this would be a gain. And you're going to have losses and gains in your money values. This process of subtraction, but changing the subtraction to addition, is often done when we look at highs and lows of things. In this case, if we have a high of 136 degrees, and we want to know what's the difference between the lowest temperature, we have our low of 129, and in this case, if I were to change to addition, I would get the difference in the temperature from the lowest and the highest is 265 degrees. So here's another example where I have the highest mountain at 848, Mount Everest, but I want to know the difference between the lowest point in the ocean. So I'm going to subtract out the lowest point in the ocean, and when I do the subtraction, I'm actually changing these to additions. So 8848, and I'm going to add the 10915, which is the lowest point in the ocean. I end up with 19,763 feet as its difference. The problem always arises in just dealing with these two subtractions and understanding that it's the same thing as adding.